Hi, Marshy here. Now I've done a few fishing shows in the past myself, and I know how hard it can be, setting it all up and all that TV stuff. But what you're about to see is two people, a camera and a huge sense of adventure and spirit. These guys just got up and went fishing, not to show you how it's done like all those other TV shows, but to share their experiences of how they did it. They didn't even have all that fancy fishing gear either. They just were normal people doing it on their own. They asked local advice and left all those normal things in that you and I know what happens on a fishing trip. So sit back, relax, and let's see some fish out of water. First stop, Exmouth, 1,270 kilometres from Perth. Located on the northwest cape, this place has excellent fishing all the time, due to it being the closest point in Australia to the continental shelf. The first recorded landing on the cape was back in 1618 by Captain Jacobs and the crew of the Mauritius. During World War II, it was a refuelling stop for submarines, and then it was an Air Force base was established just after the war. But fishing was the topic for today, so off to put some fuel in the boat, making sure not to put it in one of the rod holders like a friend of mine did, and he put 60 litres on the deck before realising and closed the petrol station down for an hour. Not a good start. Putting the boat in the water can be a bit tricky if you haven't launched off the beach before. Just make sure the swell isn't too big, as your boat becomes very heavy and has a mind of its own, but today it was fine. So, with all the gear on board and off to do some bommy bashing. Now, that's not when you find an old bomb site and fish over it. It's simply a reef or rocks that come up from the bottom. It's a bit like a nightclub for fish, you know, boys meet the girls and all that stuff.
Situation is less than perfect out here today. We're doing a bit of bommy bashing actually, and behind us we've got a nice big bommy. And what we try and do is we're going to try and lure the fish off the bommy. We do that with just a small weight on a running sinker, and a good sized lead, it's about 60 £. And the reason why we've got to lure them out of the bommy is because if we drop it on top, they'll grab it, they'll wrap us around and they'll just do us like a dinner. This was a lesson learned the hard way. Last time we did this we lost about 12 rigs in an hour. Since then we've learned, so we're going to give it a go and see if we can pull a nice fish or two off the bommies that are sitting around us. Using a big hook so we can try and get a big fish. There's lots of little bites there. We're ripping these fish. They nibble, nibble, nibble. They nibble, 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 and they take the hip off the steam frame if they don't. Catching these fish is like catching a swan with a brim. It's nibble, nibble, let them run a bit, and hopefully hook up. In the meanwhile, I'll get a lot of bait off it. That's fishing. So bombing bashing has its rewards. It's got a bit of patience. So far we haven't done a rig. We're only fishing at about 7 foot of water. So you can't give them an inch. They'll bury you around the bommy and break you off. What the rocket. So that spun the reel, got the bear of me. hook me into the deck. It's going to be real. Got to hang on to them. And that's 25 pound locked up. Persevere and bommy fish, and that's what you get. But sensational, and we're out of tucker, so that'll be good for our bucket. It's going like hell. Weather's getting worse.